Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's edition of the Jitsi Community Call. We'll just go ahead and get started. I think, Boris, you had something to talk about?
I have a couple of things. First of all, Jitsi was accepted again as an organization for Google Summer of Code. So we are happy to participate once again. We are right now in the preliminary period where we can discuss applications with potential contributors. And next week, the official application for contributors starts. So we have the GSOC ideas repository on GitHub. So github.com/jitsi/GSOC-ideas, where you can see our list of ideas. If you see something, or if you have an idea that's not in the list, you can open an issue there and we can discuss. So yeah, looking forward to another year of GSOC. Another separate thing, we are preparing to enable SCTP using the new DC SCTP implementation on prod. Pavel, I see you're here. You'll be happy to hear that next early access will have this enabled. And since we now have builds for PowerPC as well, we are planning to remove support for the old library in the bridge. This shouldn't affect anyone unless you had it explicitly enabled in your jv.conf file. The new behavior, it will just go back to the new library and everything should work. That's all I have for now.
Cool. Thank you, Boris. Jaya, did you have something?
Yeah, I do have some updates about AV1 and Firefox as well. So we've been experimenting with AV1 on Meet Jitsi for quite a while now. So we are planning to enable it in code by default and set it as the preferred codec, video codec. So in the next table, you'll see that AV1 will automatically be picked. But if you want, you can actually override this behavior. We have config settings for that. I'm pasting the link to the setting here. And Firefox also added support for AV1 recently in Firefox 136. So we've made some fixes to the client so that we're able to actually configure the codec properly on Firefox. So and VP9 as well. So once you have the new stable, you should see AV1 being used on all endpoints other than Safari and mobile. Mobile still prefers VP8 by default, but everything is overridable. So, feel free to play with it and let us know if you run into any issues. That's it for me.
Cool. Thank you, Jaya. From my side, I have recently released new Jibris running on ARM to meet Jitsi for streaming. They seem to be operating as expected, but I would love feedback in the community. So if you have any problems or enjoyed your experience with the streaming Jibris on Meet Jitsi, give me a message in the community, Aaron K. Van Meerten. Anyone else in our team want to say anything?
There was a new procedure release. If someone wants to run it with the latest stable, they need to check their release notes, and there's some compatibility configs that you need to turn on in order to use it. Probably the next stable release will have that covered, and that won't be necessary anymore. So yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Thanks for that call, Damien. Anyone else? Great.
Hello.
I'm opening it up to the community. Anyone in the community have questions?
Hello. Yes, I have one question.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, is there any planning from Jitsi community to add WHIP, WebRTC, HTTP ingestion protocol?
So who might be the best person for this? I don't. There's no concrete plans, but
Oh,
if there's interest from the community, we can talk about it and figure out how it might fit in our infrastructure.
Yeah, can you talk about how you would like to see it if you were to have it? Like how would you envision it?
okay. So the use case is with the help of FMPEG, and there are also other tools. Then we can stream the video to a video conferencing application, and that way we can ingest any modified video, uh, already modified by AI video, and I think there is no limit after adding this feature into a Jitsi.
So this would look
So
more like a
this make them
camera
much more.
input or some kind of video source. Is that what you have in mind?
Yeah.
I
So
see.
it's we can add different videos uh, using script or any other tools.
Hmm.
There can be option like in OBS we can add the virtual camera, but it's pretty limited to with OBS, and creating virtual camera makes a little bit complex. But now if FMPEG is supporting this, then writing script and doing this is much more easier if the Jitsi supports WebRTC HTTP ingestion protocol.
So this is you're envisioning streaming some other media into a Jitsi meeting, almost like a shared video that
Correct,
now
correct,
everyone watches, including audio as well.
correct.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would be not simple to fit in the architecture we have, just because we have our own signaling. We'd have to have GCOFO involved because it needs to select the bridge, uh, and then we'd have to notify all the other participants in the conference about where this, like, the stream that they're receiving from a bridge, who it
Yeah,
belongs to, and so on.
I
So it's not a simple fit there.
Well, having said that, I mean, there was some discussion about this on one of the issues, and then I think Sean Dubois, he was interested in adding support for WIP in Jitsi. So yeah, maybe if you want, you can continue the discussion there. I think the plan was to open a thread in community and talk further about it, but yeah, I don't know if that happened. But yeah, feel free to ping him there and see if you can collaborate or do something about it.
Yes, 4 days ago I have also requested uh, issues in the Jitsi GitHub with a request of adding the feature like adding the WebRTC HTTP ingestion protocol.
hmm. Well, feature requests are not something we necessarily immediately act on unless it's something that is clearly, has some backing of our own plans, or in this case, maybe if someone else wanted to write a piece of it. Um, so it's nice to have a feature request. It's always nice to hear, but it's unlikely to get a lot of traction unless there's other people who are trying to write it and it fits into the ecosystem. So I can see how that one is big enough that it might not get a lot of traction on its own.
I see.
But yeah, thank you for the suggestions and the feature request. I think it's a neat idea. Like I envision if I wasn't having to write it at all, that it would be kind of like an extended share screen where I could click a button, say share my screen, put in some kind of stream key that something else could stream to, and all of a sudden I'm sharing whatever, but it's still content that's attached to me in the meeting or something like that. But we'd have to have all sorts of stories around how is it being rendered in mobile and how is it getting everywhere and is it being redistributed by our network or is it just coming from this streaming? It's just not quite clear how we would use it, I think. Anyway, it's an interesting one. Anything else, or else we can move to Wayne?
Thank you. 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting of about 25 people using the jit.si server, Jitsi Meet, and we were presented with something we had never seen before, of viewer mode. And we had several people that joined in viewer mode. None of us had any idea how you even do that. And meeting was going okay, but then they started chatting with a lot of very inappropriate stuff. And none of us were able to remove those people or stop the chat. We didn't have an official moderator. Somebody logged in, obviously, when to get the Jitsi meeting started. But all of us tried to kick the person or whatever, and were unable to do that. Could you explain what that's about? And also, how can we deal with that kind of situation in the future?
Yeah, the visitor feature kicks in once the number of participants reaches a certain maximum on that's on Jitsi. Damien, is it? Do you remember the numbers?
I don't. There had to be about 25 people, I think, is what we had.
Probably someone moves someone to visitor. That's also an option to enable.
Yeah. So the reason for this feature is to allow scale to large number of participants in a conference or larger, so we can have um, participants in the conference that are able to share audio and video, and then a large number of visitors who are only able to view the meeting and chat. Now, the scenario that you describe, obviously, that's not a great experience. We're sorry to hear this report. How to address it? We're gonna have to think about this some more, but
We're working on it. We're working on providing a list of the visitors, like you see the participants.
Okay.
And thank you for reporting that. And we can probably add there in the kick option. So
Okay. So you're aware of the issue and are looking into a solution.
Well, in the meantime, I think a moderated meeting would probably have also done you good if you are, or some kind of pass. Damien, correct me if I'm wrong, but visitors still have to pass through a lobby or a passcode. Is that true, or can they just come in and start chatting?
You just come in and start chatting as long as they have the room.
No, I'm referencing Damien here specifically
so
about.
if there is lobby enabled in the room, there will be no visitors.
I see.
So
Yeah, what's that number?
what?
Yeah,
Oh,
what is the number?
Damien is saying that if you set lobby enabled on your room, then visitors is not enabled. Is that true, Damien?
Yes, that's true. So
so that's probably a good workaround for the time being.
Yeah. Okay. But there hopefully will be a solution in the future that will allow us to take care of people that are chatting inappropriately in that mode.
yes, we'll think about it and we'll work on it. Yes, and we're working on part of it is already in the works. So
okay, all right. Thank you.
It's a good report. Thanks for bringing it up.
Thank you.
Anyone else before I go back to Pratik? Cool, Pratik.
Yes, so one more use case, if we will add this feature, that very low latencies, we can use Jitsi as a very low latency streaming platform. So let's suppose if we have an Nginx RTMP server installed, then Nginx, as our all knows, the RTMP has around 4 to 5 seconds of latency, while WebRT has
just cut out.
Yeah, we lost you there.
But all these proposals for low latency and these new protocols, this mean implementing a new client and not using the browser, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it's basically trying to make it easier to feed data into Jitsi's platform for whatever purpose you have. So the idea would be maybe you could also have it export the whole meeting off to some kind of RTMP-like thing like we do with Jibri. But it doesn't address any of the compositing or your other user experience of what do we do with all this media once it's received? How do we get it to all the other users? How do we let users choose whether they're looking at it or something else and mute it, and all of the rest of the user experience stuff is never really addressed when we start thinking about it. So
0.5 to 1. If we can. Hello.
okay, Pratik is back.
Maybe not.
I think our feedback is still the same, that it is nice to have different use cases for the platform, and that we welcome PRs and discussion, but it's not necessarily a feature we have on our direct roadmap, and we're don't necessarily have a direct product vision for how it would fit in, I think is my summary. Does anyone on the team want to add to that?
Yeah, the thing that worries me is you need a new client for that, and that's, I don't think that's a good path to go.
Cool. Well, he seems to be having some network issues. Does anyone else have anything you want to add or questions? Welcome back, Pratik. I think our feedback to you is mostly the same. You should raise it in the community, maybe engage Saul. We can discuss a little further, but it's not something that's really on our roadmap at the moment.
Yes, I'm just showing the use case, different use case, and I think it's a good use case, both of them.
Yeah, and if you can continue to advocate for that, I would encourage it. I myself am not the one that needs to own it, and I don't see exactly where it fits into the ecosystem, but we'd welcome pull requests and other discussion in the community. So feel free to continue to engage on it for sure.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much.
Cool. Yeah. Anyone else? Anything else? Cool. Well, then, thank you very much, everybody, and I hope you have a great day. See you.